hosting us this morning. Natalie and the whole team, our jaws sort of hit the floor, and they were like, yeah, you can do it in the sanctuary. What are you talking about? You can't do things like this in here. But yes, we can do things like this in here. So, on behalf of them, I want to say welcome to Shalom Park and to Temple Bethel. Temple Bethel is a Reformed synagogue, and they welcome you to join for services on Friday nights and or Saturday. Everyone is welcome. We love that, because we believe in that as well. Everyone is welcome. They have 2 social halls that are available for rent, and they can accommodate groups of 10 to 300 or more, in the case of this morning, for any type of function. So for more information on rentals, you can contact Natalie. She's a rock star. She is at, oh boy. We're gonna post this this email address. Her phone number is 704-366-1948, or you can just reach out to us, because we love them. Thank you again, Temple Bethel. Super, super excited. Also, don't forget to be using the hashtag #CharlotteIsCreative and this month's hashtag CMRestart while you're capturing things this morning and putting it out on your social feeds. And use that hashtag of Charlotte's Creative, which is when you're out all month seeing creative energy and projects happening. Grab it, post it, and show the world just how creative our city is. I thought I'd take a moment as I do each month just to sort of reflect on the theme as I'm seeing it, and see if it serves up anything for you all. And as I was thinking about the theme of restart, the first thing that popped to mind, strangely enough, was this moment in college where I told my college roommates that, well, you can't really see that well. That's me at the top, kind of middle. That's Tim, bottom right. And my twin brother, there's a bunch of other awesome people in there. And there we are in our college apartment, Chapel Hill. And I had told, much to their chagrin, told them that I wanted a piano in our apartment. So they sort of said, okay, we'll help you do that. So I found a free piano, and they said, all you need to do is move this piano, and you can have this piano. So I borrowed a truck from my dad's office, and we went and we got this old antique 5,000-pound piano. And we put it on the back of a pickup truck. And we're heading down I-40 back to our apartment, when suddenly the truck runs out of gas. And we stall out in the middle of I-40. And if I was to put a word to it, I would say panic. I was panicked at that moment that we're sitting in I-40 and cars are zooming by us and we're literally out of gas. It's such an amateur move. That's such a college, 18-year-old move, isn't it? Ran out of gas. So I'm panicked and I look down at the dashboard and I see a button that says emergency fuel. I have never seen a button in any car, truck, or van that says emergency fuel. I push it, and the gas gauge instantly goes from an E to F. And it was like a Christmas or Hanukkah miracle. I've never experienced this before, ever, and never have since that. And so suddenly we were off swimming back to our apartment, much to the chagrin of my roommates. It did get me thinking. I've had plenty of restart moments in my life that were way more deeper or more meaningful or more important than a fresh tank of gas that seemingly appeared out of nowhere in the middle of a highway in 1993. But it did get me thinking that as creative beings and as human beings, we so often find ourselves in these moments of needing a restart. Maybe it's a fresh start. Maybe it's a hard restart in some aspect of our lives. Sometimes it does sneak up on us too, as it did that one afternoon in 1993 on I-40. And when that need for a restart becomes evident in our lives, the question is, do you know where your emergency restart button is? And if you do, can you push it? I think you can. As evidence of the fact that you're all here with us this morning, these mornings are meant to be sort of a restart every month. They are for me. So that alone tells me you have what it takes to push that restart button. But only you can say. It's totally your call. You get to decide if you hit the reset button when you need a restart. You know, over the last 2 weeks, we've been holding the people of Pittsburgh and the Tree of Life Synagogue in our hearts. And at one of the vigils, they read a litany of atonement by Robert Eller Isaacs, and I want to read a line to you. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. I'm going to just read that one more time. For each time that for each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. So how true is that in these days especially? How true is it that our own fears and our own inflexibilities, perhaps, our own closing down or closing off, actually robs us of the restart that we so desperately need in our lives? And I think this applies to our creative lives as well. You know, as creative people, we're called to put ourselves out into the world, but too often when that thing doesn't show up the way that we envisioned it, we shut down and beat ourselves up instead of moving on and trying again. So I've been wondering lately, how do we spring that trap? You know, what is our magic restart button? And I'm wondering if it is forgiveness, as that one line suggests. I wonder if it is forgiveness. To begin again in love. How many ways can we forgive each other? How many ways can we forgive ourselves for whatever may have happened in service of lifting the weight that's holding us down or clearing the path that's holding us back? If for no other reason than just so we can try again and try again and try again. You know, the yogis have a saying that with every breath, we can start our life again. Sarah and I actually had a yoga teacher in New York City. Where's Sarah? Where you are? Our yoga teacher in New York City, Heidi Carr, who ended up marrying us, used to say to us, every breath is an opportunity to start over. You don't have to wait till New Year's Eve. You don't even have to wait till Election Day. Right? You can start over at anything you want right now, in this moment, in this experience, with this morning, if you want to. So, my question is, what can you do today? Or rather, what will you do today? What small step will you take to restart in some area of your life that needs a fresh start? You know, maybe it begins with a conversation that is long overdue. Or maybe it is calling a friend, an old friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. Or maybe it's calling your representative. Or maybe it's just letting go of something you've held on to for far, far too long. Whatever it is, and that could be something in your personal life, or your professional life, or whatever it is, I invite you this morning to reflect on that as we are here together. Where in my life can I begin again in love? I'm so grateful that you're all here. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We love you guys. Welcome to Creative Morning, Charlotte. And speaking of thank yous, Tim, let's now really move because we're going to thank our sponsors. Yep. We're going to give you all an opportunity for another fresh restart here because some of you know that we love our sponsors so much that we sing to them every month. This is regardless of the fact that we have terrible voices.
Just keep in mind after you hear the song that it was an expression of love.
It is an expression of love. It is an expression of love.
Now on the screen didn't need readers by that.
It was it.
Yeah, let's move it.
All right.
We're going to chase Nancy the tribe to kill and pesty.
All right, let's do this thing. Much louder. Much louder.
You probably think we're gonna thank you now. Thank you now.
And you read up your shirt, cashy cow.
In so much of
That's a new low.
Remember, sponsors, that was a thank you.
The sponsors are making a beeline for the door. There's an ortho
Yeah,
hole in the wall where Blair just ran through the wall.
Volunteers, we practiced this. Lock the doors down so the sponsors can't leave. Please.
All right, we also need to thank Viva Raw. Thank you, Scott and Viva Raw, for keeping us healthy. We're doing your best anyway. Community Culinary School. We love Chef Ron and everyone there. They are a nonprofit that provides workforce development, training, job-based assistance in the food service industry for folks who are facing barriers to long-term successful employment. And they also have this catering company, that's who's serving us today, Encore Catering, that feeds that organization as well. So thank you so much, Chef Ron and everyone there. Thank you guys. We love that organization. Special shout out to our special photographer, Heather Diebler. Thank you, Heather. Beautiful work that we've seen on our Twitter page in 3 days. And we first have to thank our global sponsors, MailChimp, Adobe, and WordPress. These guys are, they're supporting all 190 chapters around.
Initiatives taking place across the city. All right, that's not enough money to fund your bottom line, but that's enough money to take an obstacle out of the way. To have an idea that needs to be started, or continued, or restarted, happen. Okay, people have used it for legal fees, they've used it to pay for advertising, they've used it to pay for promotion, they've used it to pay for materials they need, just to get things going. All right? $250. And what we found is that what is behind the money is the love. They needed the support. Do that thing. Restart that thing. Don't let something get in your way. That calls for me. Can you put them on hold? I'll be right there. I'll be right there. So Matt calls them $250 love bombs in cash. Love bombs. Love it. All right? So let's get back to that number 250. That has significance for the history of Charlotte. In December, we start celebrating the 250th anniversary of Charlotte. Amazing, 250 years. There's going to be activities going on all over the city. All over the city. And many of them are going to be facing backwards and looking at history, and that's absolutely correct. We're going to spend our time, and we want you to join us in looking forward. So we're going to take these 250 love bombs of cash, and we're going to make all sorts of explosions happen. Okay? So we have supported Giving Tuesday CLT. Every year we've been around, it's an amazing event. This year we get to participate in it, and we need your help. So, starting in December, going to next November, we are going to raise the cash to give out 250 hug grants. So we're going from 4 months to 20 months. And you can start making those donations today by going to 250for250.com.
And the city has come forward to give the first $2,500 to the Hug Grant program. 10 hugs. 10 hugs.
10 hugs right there.
I'm not going to be afraid of the number. It's $62,500, and we know that you guys can help us raise it between now and November the 27th, Giving Tuesday CLT. All right? Amy, I'm going to make it. Actually, hang on one second. So we're going to get started with those hugs right now. We have 4 we're going to give out now. Very excited about these projects, and this will give you an idea of what we do with them. The first one goes to the Queen's Guard and Stefan Colander. Queen's Guard. They're a musical group. They're going to use it towards mixing and mastering a new single. They can't make it happen without the money to get that going. We're going to make their music be heard. Now another group, Kara Miller with Misfit. It's a new hip-hop inspired dance fitness class that puts accessibility and affordability first. They're going to use their $250 hug grant to incorporate, to become an LLC, because that's important. For creativity to keep going, you need the support. Piedmont Music Therapy, Gretchen Benner, they're going to cover the cost of renting a location and doing social media to do a free accessible drum circle in Charlotte. And I know that's going to be one drum circle is going to become many across the city. And the last one, and I know he's not here because he's in school, but Aaron Anderson with Anderberry Bracelets. I met this guy in a personal branding class. There he is! He's right there! Yes, get up here. This kid is amazing. If I had, I don't even want to call you a kid, you're a businessman, all right? There is no event you will go to in Charlotte, no Panthers game, the Pride Festival, that this guy has not made bracelets and is selling them, and he wants to market himself. I mean, you're amazing. You're an inspiration to all of us, and it shows you don't have to wait till you're an adult to start kicking butt. Start as soon as you can. Awesome. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. How are you going to use the money?
I'm going to use it towards my business. I'm going to use it to get more popularity, get more, do commercials.
You're well on your way.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do great things, and yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're here, bro. All right, you can go back with your mom. Is Amy here? Where's his mom? All right. So there she is. So I'm gonna wrap up because I've gone really long, and Matt's bro, I can feel him wanting to kill me. And this may be the last time you ever hear me. They never give me a microphone again. But when you wonder if I give $250, if I give $500, if I give $100, what's it going to do? It's going to go right there. 100% of it is going to go in the pocket of a creative doing real work in Charlotte. And this next November, amazing things. The next 250 years starts right here. And before I go, I want to bring up Amy Jacobs of Share Charlotte. Talk about an organization kicking love snowballs down the hill to create an avalanche. You're amazing.
Thank you. I like your shirt.
Thank you. I stole it from you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Jacobs, the Executive Director of Share Charlotte, and we are so excited to welcome formally Charlotte is Creative to the Share Charlotte family. We can't wait to see all the awesome good you guys will do, and everyone in this room is part of that good. So Giving Tuesday CLT is at the end of this month, November 20th through the 27th. And the Hug Grants, 250 of them, everyone in this room, you can fund an entire one or you can give $5 towards it. Every single gift matters. The goal for Giving Tuesday CLT this year is 1,076,837 acts of good. Does anyone know what that is? It's the estimated population of Mecklenburg County in 2018. And so $1 is an act of good, a volunteer opportunity is an act of good, following a nonprofit is an act of good, being here in this room and supporting this awesome nonprofit and this organization is an act of good. So we're just so excited for this year's Giving Tuesday CLT, and we're going to end Giving Tuesday CLT on the 27th, which is Giving Tuesday, in the Wells Fargo Atrium with the year's final Queen City Quiz Show. So more information to come. Please follow Charlotte is Creative social media, Share Charlotte, our social media as well for more information. But we're super excited for the fun contestants and all the good that will happen and on that day as well. So thank you guys so much for being so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amy. I do have to say there is a Providence Day School senior named Shreya Mantha who was recently named a 2018 Woman of Worth by L'Oreal Paris. She's a 2018 Woman of Worth honoree. She is the youngest honoree and one of 10 in the nation, recognized for establishing the Foundation for Girls here in Charlotte. Tim, when we were on Good Day Charlotte on Monday, she was in the green room with us. Just FYI, I don't know if you knew that. Way more poised than us. Public voting will determine the national winner. I think she's already won 10 grand. The winner's going to win another $25,000. You can go to l'orealparisusa.com/women of worth, or just Google that. It's probably the better thing to do there. And vote for Shreya because she is awesome and she deserves that 25 G's. Okay, let's do a couple of quick 30-second pitches. And I'd like to call to the stage Ilana Kakan. I'm slaughtered that, I'm sure. And Lydia Patangura. Come on up to the stage. In the interest of time. Oh, good. Okay, so let's have you go first. So come on down here. And these are our 30-second pitches. So you have 30 seconds, and then a delightful chime will tell you your time is up. Tell the crowd who you are and who you work with or what organization you're with, and then we'll start the clock. Cool.
Okay. Hey, guys. I'm Elena. I work with Ortho Carolina in the marketing department. We recently partnered with the Savage Way. I don't know if you guys have seen, yes, you're in here. I don't know if you guys have seen the hashtag Explore Your 704 campaign that we're doing, but it's a campaign that we're using clean graffiti, and we've basically taken one large image and broken it up into 3 small images and put clean graffiti on sidewalks all across Charlotte. So basically created a citywide scavenger hunt, and all of that's coming to a head. We're doing a full mural on the side of Noda Brewing tomorrow. So we're having a party from noon to 3, and the final reveal is at 1:30, and the first 50 beers are on us if you come and take a photo. So exploreyour704.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Elena.
Yeah. By the way, I'm an executive privilege. Savage Way, straight up geniuses.
Oh, yeah, no
Straight
doubt.
up.
Okay,
Straight up.
and let's bring up Lindy Patton Gura for her 30-second pitch. Tell them who you are, where you're from, and then we'll start the clock.
Good morning, my name is Lindy. The name sign is Lindy, and I'm using my hands to communicate because I'm an interpreter for the deaf and I'm an actor, and the name of my company is called Hiccup. There you go, can I start? Okay, so the name of my company is called Hiccup, Hearing Impaired Consultants Creating Unique Partnerships. What's a hiccup? Everyone does a hiccup, right? It doesn't matter if you're deaf, hearing, blind, use a wheelchair. Our company helps theaters become accessible. Thomas Edison, Wolfgang, Beethoven, Marley Matlin, Walt Disney, many people are deaf, and it never blocks their creativity. What we're doing now is working with Actors Theater of Charlotte, Charlotte's Off-Broadway, Children's Theater of Charlotte, and helping their shows become accessible in sign language.
Lindy, thank you. We will post about them as well. And we have one more thing to do. In the interest of time, we're going to skip the game today. We have one more thing to do before we bring Matt Lyon up to the stage, and that is going to be introduced by Day Lee. Day Lee, come on up here and introduce our special musical guests.
Any music lovers in the building? Make some noise. Do we support our local artists though? Y'all like, maybe. I know, don't lie. But no, we have every Creative Mornings, for those who are returning, we feature a local musician or artist. And this month we have a duo, straight from Russia. Give it up for Russia. I know, maybe some people like.
We already have.
I know. But we have Vlad, come on up, and we have Sasha, VS Guitar Duo, and they got something special for us this morning, and let me set you up mic-wise so you can introduce yourself. Any Madonna lovers in the building? All right, so these guys have toured with her, so we got something good today.
Bring it up a little bit, please. Thank you. Hello, everyone. How are you doing so far? Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here today at this wonderful Creative Mornings. My name is Vadim. I live in Charlotte for about 15 years, and I'm originally from Moscow, professional musician myself. And I play on 7-string guitar. We're a family of musicians, and this is my nephew. He just came yesterday from Moscow to tour with me in the United States. Giving him a big applause. His name is Sasha, and we recorded our album last year. It's called VS Guitar Duo, as our duo Vadim and Sasha. And you can check us out on our website, vsguitarduo.com, or check us on Facebook and Instagram. I guess everyone has it. And we play the show. It's going to be a big show at the Bloomington Performing Arts on January 25th and 26th, and you are welcome to come. It's going to be great. We are inviting you all to check us out. Thank you, guys, and hope you enjoy today, the rest of your day. And this is a famous song for you. I'm sure you know that. Thank you. Hey. Can you bring it up a little bit, please? technical problem, but I hope you can hear him play anyway.
VS Guitar Duo. Dr. Matt Lyon is a chiropractor, acupuncturist, and intuitive life strategist to some of the most influential leaders of our time. He has led a very busy and respected wellness clinic here in Charlotte, North Carolina for nearly a decade. He's helped thousands of people regain health and wellness through the principles he teaches and practices. Dr. Matt has been teaching meditation to groups for 27 years. He leads transformative meditation retreats here in both North Carolina and in Jamaica. He lives in Charlotte with his wife, Lynn, their 2 children, and he randomly speaks fluent Jamaican patois. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak to us on our global theme of restart, please welcome to the stage Dr. Matt Lyon, everybody. Woo!
And the weak, and don't despise the poor. Respect yourself for sure. And shall we open all the doors, and you will settle scores. And the weak, and don't despise.
I want to talk about personal restarts, microphone restarts, and collective restarts. I believe in every cell of my body that we need a restart. Touch the person next to you and say, restart. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time that the restart is always in the soul. It's not in the role. The start is in the mind. You know, I think we need a restart personally, because statistically there are people in this room that are struggling and hurting. So I know that. I've worked with thousands of people. I know that. But my heart aches for this country right now. We need a restart. And I'm going to admit, I want to fully admit and concede that I have a subversive agenda. I'm a revolutionary, but the revolt that I want to catalyze is about love. It's not a revolt that uses force. It's the power of love. It's the power of one. We are one people. You might think I'm trite, but I think love is the answer. Love is the ultimate power, and it is the elixir of the extraordinary. And let's talk about what's become ordinary in this world. Hatred, racism, sexism, misogyny, senseless gun violence. If that has become ordinary, I want to invite the extraordinary. And that happens through the power of love. I want to talk about what's become normal. Normal is that people get their worth based on how many clicks and likes and followers they get. That's become normal. I want super normal. If that's natural, I want to call on the supernatural. And in a restart, I envision a revolution. And it's the power of love. And I want to suggest that when we can understand the mechanics of how we believe and how that informs how we see, we can, from that place of poise and strength, spread out seeds of love that can change this world. And I know it can change your life personally. I've done it, and I'll share my story in a minute. These guys did. Both figures who arose in dark times in their respective places, and with courage and backbone, they stood up. They got up and they stood up and they made changes and they moved mountains that changed cultures socially, racially. We stand on their shoulders, and I think it's time to continue the work. The power of one is a very real thing. And get this, the greatest leaders and scientists and visionaries, they are no different and smarter than you. Intellectual capacity, intelligence is not a function of your cognitive capacity. It's a function of your power to imagine. It is your imaginative faculty. The real power of genius is in our ability to dream new worlds and make it so. The thing is, though, is that there's a price to be paid. And the price is that there has to be some work done in the dirt and done in the dark in order for that seed to bloom. Because where is it that seeds bloom? Always in the dark. This is our opportunity. We need to change this world. I know y'all can change yourselves personally, but I have a bigger vision today. Are you with me? Okay. So let's get started. We are not our roles. All of us play a lot of different roles. We are souls. And so often we think that the restart we need in our life is in the roles, and I think it's in our souls. The real restart is in our mind, and I want to show you the science of that. I want to share my own personal story with that. But the change is in the mind. Touch the person next to you and say, it's in my mind. And a restart is not changing. It's not about changing the game you're playing and dressing it up in nicer clothing. It's about a new game. It's a game changer. And sometimes it's really important that we get dropped into the deep end of our life. And I know there are people who know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes we need to go into the deep end, whether personally or collectively, so that we can discover the very doubts and dysfunctions that have been holding us back all along. Let me tell you a little bit about my story briefly. 3 years ago, I woke up one morning and I had a very clear plan how to kill myself. I was going to end my life. I'd been hurting for a while and I didn't want anybody to know. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I felt like a fake. I was a very well-known chiropractor, locally and abroad. I was a meditation teacher. I'd shared the stage with really famous people. I was supposed to have it all together, but I didn't. I'd had this chronic pain that literally had changed my life. I had all these medical challenges that were really difficult to understand. And I was like buckling under the weight. And the bigger picture was that the role that I was playing was not consistent and congruent with the soul. I became my role. I forgot my soul. And there were 2 ways I thought I could end my life so that my daughter, Sienna, wouldn't know. My son Mikey hadn't been born yet. I thought there were 2 ways I could do it so she wouldn't know the shame of suicide in my family. Because you see, my father had attempted suicide. He lived. His father tried and died. So I didn't want to pass that on, but I was stuck in a loop. I was stuck in a generational loop. I needed a restart. So in this moment of darkness, I had a lucid moment of clarity, and I hit my knees. And sometimes when you hit rock bottom, that is the best foundation from which to stand up. And I called a friend, and I began to mend. I began to restart. This was for real now. This was my life. This wasn't about being pretty or perfect on a stage. I needed my life back. I discovered, as the poet David White says, that you must learn one thing. This world was made to be free in. Give up all the other worlds except the one to which you belong. And sometimes it takes the darkness and the sweet confinement of your aloneness to show you that anything or anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you. Touch the person next to you and say, restart. This is work, right? It's a redirection. It is a recalibration. It is a refurbishing and a reorganization. It is not instant gratification. It is not something that needs to or should look good on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever apps I do not understand, because I am 42 and I'm now officially too old to get it. It is not about playing a better game. It is about changing the game in its entirety. Now listen, I know statistically that there are people here who are struggling. You're facing divorce. Your businesses are not working. You are grieving what is going on in this country. We are grieving the shooting in the synagogues, in the yoga studios, and the churches in Texas. We are grieving the loss of what appears to be sanity. There are people here statistically, I know, that are just like I was, that maybe you've thought, I don't want to be here anymore, but you look good on the outside and things seem to be okay, but you don't know how to talk about it. I know statistically that's the case. The good news is, and I know this to be true, is that we are offered 1 billion chances every moment to restart. I want to talk about biology. Do you love biology? Do you love biology? Do you remember? Caterpillars. A caterpillar is not born to be a caterpillar. No. It is born with a much more majestic destiny. It is born to become something incredibly, substantially, and miraculously much greater than it was. It is born to be a butterfly, isn't it? Its destiny is not to remain on a twig and hope for a couple leaves, and that the best it gets day to day is that a big raven doesn't come and eat it up. Its destiny is to fly. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm born to fly. Turn to the person next to you and say, is he going to stop asking me to turn to the next person? So here's the thing about caterpillars, though, is A, it does not know its destiny. It doesn't know what resides within. But a life event comes along that changes the game. It changes everything. And to unleash its destiny, it has to go into the dark. It is wrapped in a coffin of a chrysalis and a cocoon. And in that, it literally melts into soup. Soup. But there's something inside that caterpillar. And they're called imaginal cells. What did I say earlier is the mark of genius? It's imagination. Inside that caterpillar are imaginal cells, and encoded in those imaginal cells is the DNA of a destiny that can take it from a caterpillar to a monarch who can migrate from Mexico to Maine. Come on. That's the power of the restart. But it's not fun. A Harvard study asked millennials, what are your goals? 80% of millennials said, I want to be rich. 50% said, I want to be famous. People, the restart is not about wealth and fame and beauty. It is about changing the game. There is a gift inside everybody in this room. There is a gift inside our current challenge in this country. To get to the other side of the river, I know it's not always easy, but I know we can do it. You know, the greatest tragedy in life, said one author, is not death. It's that we die with our dreams inside of us. The richest, wealthiest place in the world is a graveyard, because that's where all those dreams are buried. That's where all those restarts are buried. Michelangelo was asked how he made David, and he replied, I just took away everything that was not David. Restart. It's not about making you pretty. It's about making you real. It's about making us authentic. It's about making us genuine. What looks like a crisis is a crossroads where you find the signs to your calling. The crisis is a crucible that births a calling. When I was really deep in my struggle, I went back to the faith of my childhood. And this isn't a talk about my faith. But I do want to share that one of the great Jewish prophets said that struck me deeply. He said, Isaiah said, for I am about to do something new. See, listen to me now. See, do you see it? I've already begun. I will make a path through the wilderness, and I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. So what did I need to make new pathways through? It was my mind. It was my brain. It was my thoughts and my emotions. Because the thoughts you think 70 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Did you know that? Did you know for the average person, 80% of those are negative? I had to make new thoughts through my mind. The restart is in my mind. It wasn't in my role. It was in my soul, because those thoughts and those emotions create my perspectives. Day to day, my perspectives form my attitudes. My attitudes become my beliefs. Turn to the person next to you and say, beliefs. And beliefs are so important, because beliefs drive what we do, what we say, how we do it, whom we do it with. And most important, it drives how we see. And how many of us, we don't see the possibilities that are all around us all the time because of our beliefs, because of our bias, because of our bummers, and because of our BS. And in this country, and this is the virus right now in the country, people don't see other people because of their beliefs, their bias, and their BS. It's time for a restart. You know it's a good talk when you lost your place in your notes. And you went so far off track, there's no going back. So you just gotta restart real time. Okay. Why are there kittens and elephants on the screen? Who put those slides on here? Listen, there's some studies that I want to go over briefly. Don't freak out because I said studies. Stay with me. The smartest scientists in the world, they're just very creative. They have amazing imaginations. There was a study done with cats, and I'm really sorry, cat people, but you know you're weird anyway. I mean, everybody knows that. So kittens were separated into two groups. And in one group, these kittens were raised in an environment with only horizontal lines. The other group was raised in an environment with only vertical lines. And after these cats had become wise old kittens, they were put into a normal room. And the cats who were raised with only horizontal lines bumped into anything with a verticality to it. Anybody who was raised with only horizontal lines would bump into anything with a horizontality. That's a new word. So they had committed, this is important because the scientists call this premature cognitive commitments. These cats had committed to a certain version of reality. Their brains had committed to a certain version of reality based on their past. And so they didn't see what was in front of them. How often do we do that? How often do we miss the possibility of a restart because we don't see what's there? We keep smacking our head into the same thing. Or perhaps you keep running and walking right past the very person who would help you restart, or the very thing, but it doesn't think it is what you're supposed to think it is. Does that make sense? Elephants are cute. Did you know that in India, or in fact Plaza Midwood, this works too, you can tie an elephant. It really does, but only Plaza Midwood. You can tie an elephant, a baby elephant, with a very weak chain to a very small tree. And very quickly, that elephant will make a premature cognitive commitment to its own bondage. So that when it's an adult, even though this thing is like powerful and majestic and amazing like you, all you have to do is put it in the same environment with the same environmental stimuli, meaning the chain, small chain on a small tree, and it won't move. What have we committed to that blocks our restart? To restart, we gotta fix the mind. We want to fix the structure of our life, but the fix is the foundation. We want to dress the windows up, but it's about a renovation in the basement. Stereotypes are pervasive in our society. Yes? Raise your hand if you believe this to be true. There was a study done on stereotype susceptibility. Briefly, women were going to take a math test in this study. Half the women were told, take the math test. Half the women were told, take the math test, and they were told a lie. Take the math test, but just be informed that women are genetically inferior when it comes to math relative to men. They took the test. The women that were told that they were inferior performed 20% or worse. They performed 20% lower than men on those tests or worse. Stereotypes, beliefs, it's in your mind. Beliefs can change our belief. Beliefs change our beliefs about our beliefs, and they change our behaviors. They change our biology. Sometimes our pain becomes so pervasive that it will block true perception. There was a group of Cambodian women in Long Beach, California, and large groups of Cambodian women were going blind. They lost the ability to see, and yet nothing was medically wrong. Nobody could find out what was wrong. So one researcher said, well, let's study what is the common theme here. The common theme was that they had all emigrated from Cambodia, running from the genocide propagated by the dictator Pol Pot. And They started going blind because they had seen too much. They couldn't bear to see anymore. They had witnessed their children murdered. They had seen their husbands tortured or torturing. They'd seen too much. Their brains literally stopped seeing, even though their bodies were just fine. I've spent 28 years studying the mind-body connection, and it is so real. And as a neurophysiologist who got his Nobel Prize said, we don't see reality as it is. We see it as we filled it in from the past. Anais Nin, the amazing poet, said, we don't see things as they are. We see things as the restart is in your mind. Cats. Elephants. You know, King Solomon, another great Jewish visionary, said that without vision, the people will perish. Without a vision, the people will perish. Our genius is in our capacity to imagine. Without a vision, people will perish. Vision, seeing, dreaming, imagining. Without it, we break down. And let me take this up a notch and say, when we lose our vision as a culture, inequality and values and love and morals are no longer central in our culture, we break down. We will sell out to a corporatocracy. Yes, I just said that word. We will sell out to a corporatocracy that is really interested in the benefit of a few while overlooking the many. We need a restart. And in the midst of our restarts, every time it's going to look like we're buried in the darkest places. But I'm submitting to you, I'm proposing to you a different perspective that you haven't been buried. You've been planted. The dirt has got to do its work. And you can't rush the process. Caterpillar goes, you know what? I'm 2 days into this. I only got 15 likes showing people my new chrysalis. Bail. Sometimes we need serious gumption and grit and grace that you make a commitment to a vision that's greater than your past. I mean, even Moses was told, you're not going to see the end of this, but your people will be free. He did it anyway. Sometimes we have to do it anyway. I had originally wrote this talk because I love quantum physics. It was all this quantum physics stuff, and everybody I tested it on went like this. So I'm going to save you, but I want to share one thing. In quantum physics, we say, and we have a lot of studies to show this, that when you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at will change. Do you think that's important? Like quantum physics is the most mathematically precise science. You can't refute it. It's just really weird. I'm going to tell you why it's weird in a second. The other thing that's so important is when researcher observers have a specific intention about that seeing, it has an even greater effect on the things that it's seeing. It's so interesting. In Israel, there was, at the Physics Institute, they had said that not only does how we look at things change the things that we look at, but the time and the amount of observation that we put into things changes them. So there was this really smart guy, Dr. John Wheeler. He's a quantum physicist from Princeton University. A smart dude. I would love to have tea with this man. I'll just serve him tea. 2 cubes. Sugar. Because I got ripped jeans on. He literally said that this whole universe is participatory. That by the very act of seeing, of observing, of having a vision, we have an impact on reality. So what science was saying is that our subjective internal reality has an effect on objective reality. Isn't that crazy? We are a participatory universe. You think we're separate? The 3 of us did not put our talks together and make the central theme love. We didn't talk. In fact, I got text at the last minute. I don't even know where am I? I don't even know where I am, but it all came together. It all came together. We're all connected. I don't think there's a mistake that you're here. I think there's a word for you here from somebody that can help catalyze a revolt on the inside, because the change is in your mind. It's in your soul. It's not in your role. So we need to see differently. And I want to share this last piece that Dr. Wheeler said. He said the mind-bending strangeness of quantum theory is that there is no objective reality out there apart from our observation of it. Now, before I see like 4 people having an existential crisis right now. Don't, just hold up. If that's true, let's just leave it at that. We can have coffee and talk about the philosophy of that. What could we dream up together? What could your life dream up? What could your life dream up? What could your body look like? What could your artwork look like? What could your music look like? What could this country look like? What could racial equality look like? What could gender equality look like? What could we imagine? Listen, give me something good, Selector. I just thought of something. What did Martin Luther King say? He said, he had a vision. Without a vision, the people will perish. I have a dream. He saw. What did the prophet Isaiah said? See, I'm about to begin. Do you see it? I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. He had what did he say? He said, and I quote, I just want to do God's will. And he has allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I have looked, and I have seen the promised land. And I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land. And he knew he wouldn't get there. Moses knew he wouldn't get there with his people, but it happened. Restart. What is possible? In the darkest times, sages, seers, prophets, and visionaries have stood up. They stood up in the darkest times, and they were no different than you. In fact, they look like you. In fact, they are you. They're you. Will you stand up? Stand up. I invite you to stand up. It's in our capacity to dream new worlds. I have a dream. I have a dream. We are astral artists painting on a quantum canvas. And nobody owns the title deed to your happiness. Nobody owns the deed to your restart except you. So fix your focus on what's most important. Do you know why people like him were ahead of their time? Because they believed in a vision of a future that was bigger than the memory of their past. And that's all I'm suggesting that we do together as a people. Now I want you to turn to 5 people around you and high-five them or hug them and tell them, I have a dream. We covered a lot of territory today. I just want to let you know that from my heart, I love you. That's the great thing. That's the great thing about a restart in the dark, is it will open your heart. And as the great Jewish wisdom said, that the race is not for the swift, but is for those who can endure. And together, we can endure. And together, we can dream. And together, we can imagine. I love you. Thank you.
So wake up.
Dr. Medline, everybody! Hello!
Tune into the rhythm of love. Open your eyes and watch the red sunlight.
Final housekeeping items one more time, Dr. Matt Lyon. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Matt. We have an official Creative Mornings coffee mug that I'll be giving him, but he's gone now. So, next month, please join us for our third birthday party. We're going to go back where it all started to Laka Projects in Fremore West. And our speaker is going to be Dr. Stephanie Cooper-Luter, the Executive Director of Leading on Opportunity. And we're going to be exploring the theme of tradition. So December 7th at 8:30 a.m. at Laka Projects, where it all began, our third birthday party. There'll be some surprises there. Please don't forget to go to 250for250.com. This is a great chance for you to give a hug and give other Charlotteans a fresh start on a project that they have going on. You can do it from your phone, your computer, wherever. But please, we're going to be pushing this one hard. This is how we want to celebrate our city's birthday. Don't forget to pick up your free limited edition poster by our fellow creative Monica Reef on Restart. It's a beautiful piece, infinitely frameable. So please pick that up. And join us this afternoon at Town Brewing for what we call Creative Afternoons, which is kind of a misnomer. It's kind of creative early evenings. But at 5:30 today, we'll be at Town Brewing over there by Rhino Market on Moorhead Street to just kind of raise a glass and toast each other and the weekend. Am I forgetting anything else, Tim? Am I good? I love you guys too. Love, love, love. Go out there and restart. See you next month. Woo!
The rhythm of love. Open your eyes and watch the red